Hello, Uncle Ted, your ice cream alchemist with ice cream every day, and this is monkey butter ice cream. Now, folks, this stuff was amazing. I've always wanted to make monkey butter, and I ended up with a ton of pineapple that I needed to use up, so I said, fine, let's make some monkey butter. And so first I'll show you how to make the monkey butter, and then we'll go forward from there. Now, for monkey butter, it's pretty simple stuff. You start off with some pineapple. Recipe calls for 20 ounces. I'm doing a double batch because I've got this big bag of pineapple here. So first you got to strain it. Obviously, since we're doing a double batch, we're looking at 40 ounces of pineapple. That's going to be 2 big cans. So strain the pineapple first. You want crushed. I didn't have crushed, so I had to crush it. So that means I got to put it in the food processor. And I love this little food processor. It was a gift, and I have used the daylights out of it. It just keeps on running, and it's been just so handy for me. So what you want to do is take the strained pineapple and put it through your food processor or blender, whatever you got, and give that a good blitzing because you want it to be what they call shredded or crushed, but basically almost a puree. But go ahead and get that. You want to strain it as well, so you're going to strain it a second time because you want to control how much moisture goes in your monkey butter. For bananas, I had 6 bananas. The recipe calls for like 4 or 5, but I went ahead and just used 6 because that's all I had. Obviously I could have done with more, but that's okay. I sliced them as thin as I could because I want them to dissolve. It's a pretty good system. And then I went to add half a cup of lime juice as well as a cup of coconut. Actually, I added the whole bag of coconut off camera because I love coconut. It's monkey butter. You don't have to be exact. Just make sure that if you're going to can the stuff, that you're going to want to use the bottled lime juice because you want that to be acidic because you need that for canning. And then that had 3 cups of sugar, and then I went ahead and put it on the stove. Now, before I put that on the stove, I actually did add 2 cups or one. It's supposed to have 1 cup of pineapple juice. I put 2 because it's a double batch. That's why you reserve the pineapple juice and then add it later because you want to have control over how much is in your batch. Now, like I said, I did make a double batch, which means that my pot was too small and I had to be very careful and babysit this as I cooked it down so it didn't boil over. You want to cook it down until you reduce it to about maybe 2/3 of what you had. I got it down to pretty close to almost half of what I had by volume. Once you get that reduced, it's going to be pretty creamy, and that is really all it takes. That's all you got to do. Alright, so now we get to make our ice cream. Now, go ahead and put this in the refrigerator. It'll keep for a couple weeks in the refrigerator without canning it. Now, once you bring it out, keep in mind that it's still going to be a little chunky. And like I said, I've used a whole bag of coconut in mine because I really love coconut, which ended up making it a bit chunkier than maybe it should have been. So with it being as chunky as that, I am going to have to run that through the food processor. But it's good stuff. I love this monkey butter, and I've been eating a lot of it. Now, for the rest of the ingredients, 2 cups heavy cream, 1 cup whole milk. We're going to go with 4 egg yolks, 1/3 of a cup of dry non-fat milk, half a cup of sugar, 1/8 of a teaspoon of guar gum, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And it's the usual suspects that I always use because this is a custard, and this is a very rich custard. So good stuff. Now, like I said, I'm going to have to make sure to put the monkey butter through a food processor to make it super creamy. And once again, I get to bring out my handy dandy food processor and run that through. And like I said, you don't want it too chunky. One of the things I should have done was I should have run the coconut through this before adding it to the monkey butter. It would have made things a lot easier for me, I think. I wouldn't have had to do this, but lessons learned and lessons passed on to you. So after I ran this through the food processor, I blitzed it for a good minute because, like I said, I got this as smooth as I could come up with. And once I did that, then I went ahead and set that aside for later because then we get to get on with the rest of it. Next, it's time to separate our 4 eggs. And remember, like I always say, hang on to those whites because they do come in handy and I'll use them for a lot of different things. So once you separate your egg yolks from the whites, then we're going to go ahead and put those aside, and then we can get on with heating up our dairy. And like I said, we're going to be using 2 cups of heavy cream and 1 cup of whole milk. I always add it to a cold pan, then I turn on my heat on low, and I slowly bring that up to temperature, whisking the whole time. Once that gets up to temperature and it starts to get hot, that's when I will add my powdered non-fat dry milk. I'm only using 1/3 of a cup this time. And remember what I always say, add it slowly in batches, keep whisking it. This way it doesn't clump up and leave a real mess for you. Be patient, you'll be rewarded. Then we turn our attention back to the eggs, where we add 1/2 cup of sugar, and then we go ahead and whisk that until it has doubled in volume and it is at the ribbon stage. And I really would wish that somebody could tell me what French is for ribbon stage. But anyway, once we're at ribbon stage, then we can go ahead and temper our eggs. And I am so sorry I have such terrible camera angles on this, but please take my word for it. I am tempering my eggs. I am slowly adding my hot dairy into my egg mixture, and I am whipping it like I can so that I am warming the eggs up, so when I put them back on the heat, I don't make scrambled eggs, I actually cook the eggs. It's a French technique, I forget the word for it, but basically that's what I'm doing as I temper these eggs. Alright, so once the eggs are tempered, then it's back on the heat. We're going to heat them up to 165 degrees for 1 minute or until the eggs cook. You can tell the eggs are cooked by, if you can coat the back of a spoon, run a finger through, and then it stays that way, then they're done. And that's how we tell that our custard has been cooked. All the while, don't forget to do not stop whisking. That's very important. Do not stop whisking. Now, once it's done, we're going to strain it one more time as we pour it out into a bowl. This way, if there were any little pieces of cooked egg that we missed, they're going to get strained out. And so, make sure to have your strainer handy and just go ahead and get that taken care of. Now, once you got it strained, then we're going to go ahead and add the rest of our ingredients. That's when we're going to add our monkey butter. So go ahead and take your 1 1/4 cups of the monkey butter puree and add that in. And by the way, I did measure this, so yeah, I wanted to make sure I was correct. So yeah, 1 1/4 cup of the pureed monkey butter, and we're just going to go ahead and add that in, as well as 1 of the teaspoons of vanilla. And you notice that I'm using actual vanilla extract this time instead of the vanilla powder. I was just getting an off flavor from that vanilla powder, so I switched back to using vanilla extract. And this is actually a Mexican vanilla extract that I'm very happy with. So once we've got those 2 ingredients added after we take it off the heat and we got it incorporated, that's when we're going to go ahead and seal that with some cling wrap, some plastic. Once again, we want to make sure that the plastic wrap actually touches the surface of our custard, because if we don't, then a skin will form, and that's just gross. You don't want that. Now, just go ahead and put it in the refrigerator overnight, and then go ahead and put it in the ice cream maker according to your manufacturer's instructions. And folks, I gotta say, this is one of the better ice creams. It's a custard, it's rich, it's wonderful stuff. Now, I do want to thank you for watching my video and for being here with me, and I appreciate everybody sharing the links. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And if you're not eating ice cream for breakfast, what's the point of being an adult? Thank you. Oh, and one more thing before I forget. If you have any requests, by all means, please post them in the comments. I would love to see what you guys think. What would you like to see? Just let me know. I'm very curious. But yeah, just post those in the comments. Thank you.